Inside PressBox is presented by Freedmont Mortgage. Don't make a 30-year mistake by choosing the wrong lender. Go to Freedmont.com now for all of your mortgage needs.
And welcome back to Inside PressBox. You know, prior to June of 2012, millions and millions of dollars earned here in Maryland were being gambled away across the border in our neighboring states. Sensing how important the gaming market was going to be locally once it eventually opened in Maryland, PressBox brought in respected gambling and gaming writer Bill Ordine, and he's done quite the job following the evolution of gaming here at home. And Bill, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Gary.
And when I found out about this story, I was absolutely astounded. The number, 70 million, was brought in last month, I think it was, by the gaming industry. And not only that, but the Maryland Live was the single number one grossing casino in the Mid-Atlantic area.
That's correct. We're talking about 4 states. There are 30 casinos included in that. And we're talking about the Atlantic City market, the Pennsylvania market, the Delaware market, all of which are more mature markets than Maryland.
Absolutely. I mean, this one has only been up for about a year or so. Why do you think that is? Why more money at this particular location?
There's a certain genius to this location, frankly. I mean, the casino's a very nice building. They did a nice job there. But this is all about, like real estate, location, location, location. They're right there between Baltimore and Washington, D.C. And on top of that, they've got great roads going into that casino. Mm-hmm. And they're next to a major attraction in and of itself, which is the Arundel Mills Mall.
So I wonder, though, and obviously the bulk of that money is coming from the Baltimore and D.C. markets, right. But I wonder, though, are people coming from Philadelphia, from Atlantic City, from Delaware to check it out? Are they getting a measure of that?
I think you might be getting a smattering of customers like that. I don't know that you're going to get enough people to really move the needle on that. Mm-hmm. But because that mall is there, and you really can't discount that in certain times of the year, like Christmas, you might be able to attract people down there for a weekend from out of area.
Let's talk about poker. I understand that poker is coming. 50 tables are coming at the end of the month, or
at the end of the summer.
Right. And now I also understand that Maryland, for some reason, and maybe you can illuminate us, has an inordinate amount of terrific poker players.
We've always had really solid poker players in Maryland. It's a long tradition. It goes really back decades. And we've got young people coming in. Greg Merston, of course, from Laurel, won the main event,
right.
The World Series of Poker main event last year. And then there are some folks that may not be household names, but are still very important in the poker world, such as Christian Harder from Annapolis, Anthony Gregg, who's also from the Laurel area. And these folks are playing earlier this week, starting on Wednesday it was, at the World Series of Poker. There was one event where the buy-in was over $100,000. And Christian Harder was playing in it, and Anthony Gregg was playing in it, and Greg Merston was playing in it. Yeah, we've got some players in Maryland.
And you were telling me that 150 approximately players signed up for the 110,000 per.
It was somewhat smaller than that, but in that, by the time the final numbers are in, we would expect between 100 120 kind of players.
So quick math tells me that's a $10 to $12 million gate as it is.
That's right.
Wow, that's
exactly.
Unbelievable. Let's go back to the debate. People were talking about gambling in general, gaming, slots in general. Slots never ended up at the racetracks, but horse racing is benefiting from slots revenue.
Absolutely. To this point, over $70 million has moved over into the horse racing industry. The majority of that in purses, which of course benefits to horsemen and trainers, and jockeys. And then another $17 million so far has gone into a fund where the tracks will be improved. So this really has saved horse racing in Maryland.
The developer of Maryland Live, David Cordish, everybody knows the name. Is it fair to say that the results have exceeded the expectations?
I don't know that they've exceeded David Cordish's expectations,
right,
because he has very high expectations. But it has been surprising to folks like myself who look at the industry. We're sort of trying to read the tea leaves as to how successful this would be. This really is beyond my expectations, and I think most other casino observers.
What do you see for the future? Where does it go?
It'll be tempered, at least for Maryland Live it'll be tempered, because of course we're going to have a casino in Baltimore City, next maybe Labor Day or thereabouts. And then a couple of years down the road we're going to have a casino in Prince George's County. all of that will, temper the revenues at Maryland Live in particular. But for the state in general, it should bolster those revenues.
Do the casinos compete against one another, or will they, of course they compete against one another, but do they band together as an industry to promote gaming in the state, or do they all just do their own marketing and advertising thing?
We'll find out because we really don't have much of a competitive atmosphere quite yet. I mean, Maryland Live is an 800-pound gorilla of gaming and casinos in Maryland. The other casinos are much smaller. But you bring up an interesting point, because in Atlantic City, New Jersey, where there was a critical mass of casinos all in one place, for decades they did not cooperate. And now they find themselves on the ropes. Now at this stage of the game, they're trying to make up for those past sins. They're trying to cooperate so that they can basically rise their own marketplace, meaning New Jersey. So we will see how it works out in Maryland.
Got about 45 seconds. Did Hurricane Sandy hurt the gaming industry, or maybe how much did it hurt the gaming industry there?
It hurt the gaming industry, certainly as a single episode. But the gaming industry in New Jersey, and we're talking about the gaming industry in New Jersey, has been on a decline. There are some systemic issues there, and they're working very hard to overcome them.
Interesting. So Maryland, right place at the right time and doing the right job at this point.
Yes.
Fascinating stuff, Bill. I really appreciate you coming by.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Gary. That is Bill Ordine, covers gaming for PressBox. And before we take a break, let's take a look at our photo of the week, as always brought to you by Yuengling Lager, a true American classic. Tastes the quality that 180 years of family-owned and operated tradition brews into every single bottle. All right, here we go. As of taping time, the Birds have hit a bit of a snag, as you know, dropping 3 straight to division rival Toronto over the weekend. PressBox's Mitch Stringer snapped these shots earlier in the season of a few players who we all hope will serve as timely reinforcements. You've got outfielder DH Nolan Reimold, right-hand pitcher Steve Johnson, and former All-Star second baseman Brian Roberts, remember him, all of whom are set to return in the next 5 to 7 days. And after the break, Inside PressBox reporter Derek Wattay takes us in the batting cages with Orioles hitting coach Jim Presley. So don't go away. Join PressBox for the second Thursday Sports Lunch. That's a series that's at Padonia Station on Thursday, July 11th, with longtime sports anchor Mark Viviano as the guest speaker. Get your tickets in advance at PressBoxOnline.com.